Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Real Football Talk. I have Adil with me. Adil, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Good.
Good weekend. Good weekend.
For you, yeah.
For me. Rubbish performance, but yeah, good result. Good result. That's the thing that matters, isn't it?
I'm just happy because at least you're smiling, isn't it?
I'm always smiling. Rain, shine, snow, I'm smiling. Right, let's get since we're talking about them, let's start with them. Arsenal versus Manchester United. What did you make of the game?
Yeah, the main things that happened in the game you could have predicted beforehand. Like you could almost predict. Like we said on the podcast, and I still believe you are the only guy who thinks United are still a difficult team to play against.
Well, if you look at it, I was right because when we started good. What was the scoreline? Beside the scoreline, okay. Let me say it. Let me say it. You listen to me, hear me out, and then you can decide. Beside the scoreline, if you look at, all right, we went 1-0 up, and then what happens? Same as what we done at OT. We gave the owners to United. They started dominating. They started. If you tell me if Fernandez scores that penalty, that whole game changes. You know United going on to winning that game. You know.
So are you telling me Arsenal played bad?
I thought we were terrible.
We were terrible. You played bad and you still won 3-1. If that's not the definition of Man United being probably after Norwich the easiest team to play against right now.
No, easiest team to play against.
Arsenal played bad.
That doesn't mean we were. That doesn't mean we weren't terrible and we got away with the result.
Yeah, I'm not saying, but that wasn't. I never said, oh, Arsenal are going to outplay United. I just said it's a banker win. It's a guaranteed win. United are not a difficult team to play against right now. Even when dominating, they're going to give you easy goals, soft goals, because at the end of the day, they're a bunch of softies. You get, and all the goals, if you look at them, they're just soft. Everything is soft.
From both teams. It's not just one, from both. If you look at every single goal, all of them are soft.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think Arsenal have more bite now than mentality. Yeah, you can question it. They can't, they give away the owners, but that might be tactical. But yeah, everything you could have predicted happened. The scoreline was predictable. Conceding a goal in the first 3 minutes was predictable. Tellers basically being the weakest link was predictable. Ragnick doing some strange stuff was predictable. I mean, you back Maguire all this time, and then you drop him for a game. I don't know.
A big game, yeah.
It's just weird the way he operates. Yeah.
So do you think that was the right decision? Because obviously, it was the wrong decision. Obviously everyone's going to say it's the wrong decision now, but just before going into it, he obviously thought he was taking him out of the heat.
I don't think it's the worst decision, but the problem is Varane does not look comfortable. He's on that left side. He never has done.
Yeah.
So that's the problem I have is, and then, that's another strange thing. The last few games is he's been forcing Maguire to play on the right-hand side and Varane on the left, or whoever else on the left. It's like trying to force Maguire on the right-hand side just doesn't work. So either way, that's not the reason why they lost, isn't it? They lost because they had Tellers on the pitch who basically made Saka look world-class. Saka or Tavares, whoever it was, they looked world-class when they were just next to the non-existent defending of Tellers. And then, you look at all the goals, rebounds soft. The shot from Xhaka, great finish. but not again, one person closing him down. It's like soft.
And even the ball given away, that was soft as well.
Soft for the penalty, the penalty decision is like soft.
Let me ask you one. What did you make of that? It wasn't given, and VAR looked at it and said it wasn't a penalty. That Cedric handball, because personally I thought that looked a bit dodgy because it kind of fell on and dragged the ball away.
I don't know. Obviously, before we were years talking about according to the rules, but I don't think the rules got applied properly anyway, because it wasn't that he was falling. He had already fallen. He started crawling. Crawling and falling are two different things. Yeah, so the rule book says falling, in the act of falling, if he accidentally does it, fine. But when you're already on the floor and you're crawling, I don't think the rule said crawling, did it?
But this is the comment. No, this is what I'm trying to make. I'm trying to make
it's a penalty.
I think we got away with one. I
thought he made himself. He was trying to make himself. He's trying to obstruct the player, gain advantage by making himself, awkward and bigger, and he ended up handballing. So, I think it's an intention. He maybe wasn't intended to handball, but he was intending.
I think he was intentional. I did the way he done it. It looked intentional to me.
Yeah, whatever it is gamesmanship, but it's a penalty because he's already on the floor. He's already fallen, so it's not in the act of falling. Number one, and he's crawling. He's crawling. He's hopping. Crawling around, trying to obstruct either the ball or the run, which is what you'd expect. It's what you'd expect from an experienced player. But I don't see how that's not a penalty. I don't see the advantage. Why the advantage should go to someone doing gamesmanship. So yeah, it was a penalty, and if you're giving Saka's penalty, then I'm sorry, the Tavares and the second one on Elanga in the second half is a clear penalty. He's literally got his whole arm around his inside groin. I mean, you can't get any more closer to the man trying you. And he literally wrapped his arms around it to the point where he drops the player.
For the first time, he was getting a bit physical in the whole game.
Well, it's a rugby tackle, isn't it? It's a rugby tackle at the end of the day, isn't it? So I don't understand. It seems like we always talk about VAR, but the problem is the British referees, man. They just want to back their boys on the field. So they're changing their interpretation of the rules every week to suit, trying to back the referee on the
referees
as much as they can.
Yeah.
There's no consistency in anything.
The penalty that was given for the handball, obviously Fernandes took it and he missed. Why didn't Ronaldo take it? I mean, he was smashing it in the game. I was just surprised why he didn't take it.
Thing is, I thought he was a bit strange in the whole game, because every time he had a shot on goal, normally he takes a tap and second one, bang, he's taking a shot. This game, he just didn't want to shoot the ball. He just kept trying to square it, even when no one was there. He's trying to play people in we're talking about Cristiano Ronaldo, the guy who likes taking the most shots in every game. Do you get it?
Yeah.
And so, even though his performance, his link-up play and everything was good, he wasn't taking shots. It wasn't, in the game, it wasn't a normal Cristiano. Which, because he scored, everyone's going to say, yeah, it's the right decision that he played and everything. But it actually wasn't, because at the end of the day, you can tell he wasn't his normal self. And the fact that he scored is because that's how bad United are. That even Ronaldo not being his normal self will still be the best player on the pitch for United.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, if ever you saw a player with no confidence, when he's taking a penalty, and he just, I don't know. it took a long time, and Fernandes just it felt like he was gonna miss. I don't know why. It just felt like that.
What's gone wrong?
I have to say, Ramsdale's celebration was funny because he done nothing to save it, but like somehow he was celebrating. He's having Martin Keown moment. But I was like, bro, you were nowhere near. And I don't think he even went the right way, or he stood still.
No, he went the wrong way.
Exactly, and then you're gonna celebrate like, you know.
But you know how he's been like that the whole season. Just
he's probably trying to get a bit of a mental get under his skin, but he's well, maybe he needed that because he pulled out a great save from Dalot
as well
after it. So.
After, but I mean, in terms of Fernandes, I mean, what's gone wrong with him? Is it just confidence, or is it just because United how poor it is?
It's Rangnick. I just think it's Rangnick. I mean, they're playing a system that doesn't suit him. They're trying to make him play like top, and then the game before, who's it? They played him on the left. Then every game they're moving him into midfield because there's always an injury or something.
He becomes on the mid.
So, there's no real structure to the way we're playing. I mean, there isn't much difference. If anything, I think United have regressed. Everyone's complaining under Oli, even me included, about there's no structure or philosophy. Someone tell me the philosophy and the structure right now. I mean, against Arsenal, it looked slightly better because it's the first time in a long while where he's dropped the 4-2-2-2 formation, and it looked more like a 4-2-3-1 again. And if we look at when Rangnick started to do better, is when he was playing the 4-3-3/4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
As soon as he started winning, he went back to this. It's arrogance, isn't it? He went back to this 4-2-2-2 system, and they've been losing ever since. So the only positive you can say is at least United played well. I don't know what that says about Arsenal, because this United team has been getting outplayed by everyone. We've been saying it, Norwich, Southampton, whoever they played, and then they managed to actually look like the better team against Arsenal. But who cares? I think the result was the most important thing.
That's what I was going to say.
What a week!
The result means more.
You go to Chelsea, you win, and then you beat United at home.
Yeah.
What a week!
Yeah, but like the other thing, like there's a couple of things. Like, one was like how scared players were of playing against Ronaldo. They were just sitting off him so much.
Yeah,
it's just like way too much respect given. If you're gonna do that, and it's a trend I've seen. Like when they play Liverpool, you see that whole back line is literally bricking it. That whole back line is bricking it, and you can see when they play these big boys or big teams or big players, that team is scared. They need some leaders in there. It's gonna.
I mean, the worrying thing is like for that Dalot chance, like you're 2-1 up. You've just United missed a penalty. You're under the cosh, from basically when you've scored the goal, you've been under the cosh. And then, for that Dalot chance, at one point, it was 3-on-3 there. And you're thinking about the players can't handle the pressure of the situation.
Yeah. That's
like this player's going missing and, things like that. And you just think, what is going on there? So, yeah, mentality seems like it's still an issue, but you're going to get that with the young team, innit?
Yeah.
And the most important thing was the result. And maybe all of these things become a non-issue now because they should be playing with the confidence. They're in the ascendancy at the end of the day. I know they got
West Ham
Spurs coming.
And then Spurs, West Ham, Leeds, and then Spurs.
Well, it's the perfect time to play West Ham, isn't it? They've got no defenders. Dawson's now suspended.
Yeah.
The other two
for the game, they got no defenders. And
so they got the Europa semi-final before that. So a lot of the stars are aligning. but I know you're gonna stay, pessimistic about your chances.
Arsenal.
No. Yeah, you're right.
I know Arsenal.
You match the Arsenal players' mentality. You're afraid to be confident, bro.
I am, because I don't have faith in them yet.
Yeah,
because they don't fool me. This performance again, it showed me what I knew, and we're scared of that pressure, and we don't have that leadership, and that's why I am how I am, because I know what could happen so very easily. That game so very easily would have been completely different, because you know what, if United take their chances, we're out of this game. We can't score that many goals. And West Ham are going to be, even though they might not have the players, they're just going to be, shut up. We can't score.
Well, I got a feeling that's going to be a boring game to watch, because both teams are very structured, very organized.
Let's see.
A bit like the West Ham Chelsea game, isn't it?
Not long as it's a 1-0 to the Arsenal, I really don't.
Yeah, well, like I said,
I don't really care.
It's all about the result, and after that, getting the results.
Like even if the next 6 games, I don't know, if we get outplayed every single one, then we somehow manage to win and stuff. I'm happy.
That's all that counts at the moment.
This season, yeah, it's just about results now. What did you make of Tottenham? 0-0 draw, but they were outplayed by Brentford. I don't know how Brentford didn't win that game. Not gonna lie. Again, similar to this.
I think the thing is, Brentford, obviously their system, the wing back system, it's matching up with Spurs. And the thing is, Conte is like this, where he rarely smashes it when he goes to a team straight away, because he's so particular about the team picking up and understanding the system. So he doesn't really move away. So even when, and I like that, because that shows that's a manager who knows how to build a team. So even when potentially at the start of the game, he should tweak the system because he's playing against a team that's playing a different system. He won't, because he's thinking long term. Everything he's doing is planning long term. So he stuck to his system, which obviously meant that they were man less in midfield, and I felt that was the difference in the game. And Brentford played with a diamond, so
the extra man
was played more like a 10. So then what happens is it becomes very difficult for the two midfielders, because effectively it's not actually against 3, it's 2 against 4, and hence why Eriksen found it easy to pick the ball up, and Janelt found it easy to pick up the ball in those little 10 pockets just outside, outside this on the left and right, is because ultimately it's 4 against 2. And then because Brentford got 3 at the back, they can handle the runs of the 3 forwards, So
my question is, because I know you kind of touched up on it, because Tottenham are going for the top 4, and this is a big game for them to win. I get it in the long term that the system, he's trying to fix that stuff. But shouldn't he? Because I know I've been listening to some podcasts of some Tottenham fans and stuff, and they're all complaining about why that Conte is not changing the system or formation to suit or adjust to Brentford, because you need to win the game, right?
Okay, there's 2 things, yeah. An Arsenal fan listening to Spurs podcasts.
No, the reason I listen to loads of podcasts, so
yeah, but that's very interesting. Number 1, yeah.
Go check out what's that guy's name? Oozing Expressions or something. He's so funny.
All right.
When they lose you, oh my god.
That's fine. And then the second thing is, like, I don't get that, because I think Conte's record proves that his methodology works. So if he's planning long term and and that's the way it works, then I think, who are we to question it? Bottom line is, who cares about, like, if they're going to be a top 4 guaranteed for the next few years, No one's going to be talking about whether they got it this year or not. Or if they challenge for title and cups and winning trophies, no one's going to talk about Conte potentially not, changing his system or just. But this is what he does anyway. He done that at Inter. The only one that surprised everyone was at Chelsea because
when he first started,
because he won in his first season, which surprised everyone. But that's Conte normally doesn't win stuff in his first season because once you understand the system, then it does. But yeah, so I don't know. I think obviously against teams that play possession and everyone drops back and defends and they don't leave space for Tottenham to counterattack. They struggle because they haven't got they're an industrious team. Kulusevski's got a bit, but let's be honest, we're always eulogizing about Harry Kane as the main creative force. When you look at the goals Song is scoring, it's mainly Harry Kane doing the playmaking. So
the pre-assist.
So they were, Brentford were very good at snuffling and Harry Kane, his influence on the game. They kept it. So he never had the 10 position to do anything. And whenever he went to him back towards goal, they got physical, strong defenders who were all over him.
There wasn't many scenarios where they did manage to play it through to him in that position, anyways, because
because the 10 was always and because the defensive mid was blocking that pass out, and the defensive mid can do that when you're coming up against just two midfielders, because when you're playing a diamond, the player right and left is also shielding passes into Song and Kulusevski. So that's why really Brentford's system really stifled anything Tottenham could do on the ball. And that's what basically the numerical advantage in midfield also was why Brentford were able to cause them problems in attack. And let's be honest, I mean, that's a good point for Tottenham because Brentford had, I think they hit the post a few times or the bar. Tony had good chances.
And then post once, and then
so they had quite a few good chances. They were the team on the front foot, so it might end up being a good point.
Should Lloris have been sent off?
It wasn't sending off, but it was a handball. It was a handball. I thought it was a handball. Doesn't matter if he went in with his leg. It comes off his forearm. So I was surprised VAR never got involved in that. That's a bit of a strange one.
But I mean, unless they think it's a sending off or a as in penalty or stuff, they won't get involved. So
it's a clear goal scoring. It's clearly a wrong decision.
So then if it's a clear goal scoring opportunity, then obviously it's a red card for.
Yes, so you could have given a red card. You get it because ultimately Tony was through.
Spurs got away with another one.
Possibly getting a
lot. One bit of it. Apparently Pochettino's getting sacked from PSG, and there's rumors that if Zidane don't go,
that's not apparent. I mean, everyone's known that.
Apparently they want to take Conte to PSG. What do you make of that?
I think that's a very strange call.
Yeah, because I don't know. Right in the
because the thing is, what I would say is the PSG is always going to win the league.
Yeah, that's given.
And they are all about
Champions League.
The Champions League. And if you look at Conte's record and his style of just, he plays old school football. You get it? It's not, they organize, they sit back, they hit teams on the counter. he's never really done well in Europe. Because Europe, the pace of the game is slower. So, and the technical quality of these teams are so good. So as soon as you come against the better team, they will pick off the wing-back system easily.
Yeah.
They will pick off the flaws of that system. So I don't see how it makes sense. And even if you look at the players that PSG has, I mean, how does that? Because he likes a target man forward alongside. So, like Messi ain't a target man. No is Neymar, and if Mbappe stays, which I doubt, so I don't know. It doesn't match the profile, but I think the rumors and the reason why they're considering him is because they've lost control of the club.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the whole culture since Leonardo's come back is wrong at the club. I think maybe there's an admission that things have gone too far, where it's just too much about commercial and marketing and giving players too much freedom, and maybe that's the reason why they're thinking they need someone who's gonna make it just about football. Just about football. But I'm not sure. I can't see Conte winning the Champions League if he goes to PSG. But he is an exceptional manager. Maybe he'll improve and make adjustments for the Champions League. But he's never really gone on a run. I mean, I remember, Juventus kept going out in the group stages. Couldn't get out of an easy group. To get many times. So, even with Inter, strong team, he never really went far. So I don't think Champions League and Conte works because of his style. So it'd be a strange choice.
Anywho, let's move on to the Merseyside derby, Liverpool versus Everton. I mean, it's pretty one-sided. Well, it was one-sided, apart from the penalty decision. What did you make of the penalty decision? It was at a key moment, still 0-0.
The second one, the Gordon. First one was, I think we all
no, first one, I think it was it. Yeah.
So I think the second, the problem is, again, I would say this is a problem of VAR because obviously you're in Anfield, the referee don't want to give something unless it's a stonewall penalty. And now when you look at it, it looks stonewall. But the thing is, if you're looking at the contact of the arms, then you'll say soft. And I think the referee was looking at the contact between the arms and saying, oh, that's soft, and he's falling over a bit easily. But really, where the actual foul is the tangling of the legs and the way he comes across and, ultimately wipes out Gordon.
Yeah.
But the referee, I think, is looking at the arm coming out and and the little push and that being too soft, which if you just look at that, so if you look at the top half of that tackle, it looks like it's very soft. So I can see that as an incident where the referees missed the actual picture. Guess what? We introduced VAR.
That's what we have VAR, yeah.
And when you look at how forensically VAR looks at things and looks at contact and things like that for decisions they've given, but sometimes, it's barely a touch. A toenail. Toenail has touched the shin, and they've given the penalty.
So do you think this is a classic case of, I don't know, Anfield, they're not giving away, or it's because who it is, it's Everton, and it's not the other way around? If that was Salah, say for instance, what Frank Lampard said basically, would it be a different case?
I don't think it's actually a case of, when it comes to the referee, you can say, it's the Anfield factor. As in, he looked like he didn't want to make any big decisions against Liverpool because of the crowd. I feel like the referee looked overawed by
46 games since I think they've received the penalty.
Yeah, but those stats, they're unbelievable stats, but who cares? I mean, unless you go through every single one of those 46 games and then find and then tell me, in 46 of them potentially they should have conceded a penalty, then it means something. But if in those 46 games only one or two times they had favorite decisions, I can tell you City and Spurs have had more favorable decisions this year, and they've had penalties awarded against them. It doesn't matter about this 46.
Well, something similar to this, I think he got it last year, Harry Kane, where he backed into the guy and then fell over, and he got the penalty.
Yeah. So I just think a bit like Saka, basically, against United. He knows how to win penalties. Yeah, but anyway, let's move on.
That's it.
I actually think VAR is doing what VAR does. It's backing the referee. So suddenly they're not forensically looking at the contact between the legs, which is the strangest thing in the world, because that's a stone wall of penalties you're ever going to find. I don't know how much more contact you need to give a penalty. I mean, not only did he trip him up, he then stamps on him after it. That's how out of control Matip was at the end of it. So that's a double penalty in my eyes. So I think VAR, that's the conspiracy. I don't think there is. It's just what VAR does, which is backs the unfair decision. Was the referee influenced by the crowd and the thing? Yeah, but those 46 games include away games. So it's not just, Anfield effect, but clearly, it's more down to performances of the referee.
And then, I mean, they go around the other side. Great substitution by Klopp to bring Origi on and Diaz on, and then change the whole game.
Well, the thing is, it wasn't just the fact that he got Diaz and Origi on. It's more that they changed the way they were attacking the back three of Everton. Because what they started to do was, actually, I'm not sure if they played back three, I'm just thinking. But what they started to do was they moved Salah out wide and Diaz played a bit more out wide. And so what that did was suddenly, because every other time they were able to put numbers around them because they were coming in. They were the ones coming in to attack. Yeah. So, I think that's basically the change. The biggest change was not only did they go with the target man, but it's actually Salah and Diaz are playing out wide now instead of them going in and the fullbacks coming overlapping. You're trying to get the width to the fullbacks. What happens? The fullbacks stop coming in, feeding the ball to Salah, and then Salah's got two targets to play with. And that's, I mean, it's easy to say because that it was so evident for the first goal, but as soon as those changes happen, even for the rest of the game, because the goal happens as soon as basically those changes came on, it was still working. Salah was suddenly free, getting on the ball so much on that left-hand side, and Mayalenko started to struggle. He couldn't, so it's good changes, tactical. It's good, game awareness from the players, understanding, adapting. It's just they're a machine, man. I mean, you look at the game, even when you look at it, even when you look at the highlights, which you're right, Liverpool really dominated the game, though the better teams. Everton had a bit more better chances in the game. The counter, I mean, they, Liverpool do what they do. You keep Liverpool 0-0, they'll start going gun-ho and just have two men defending and everyone else attacking, which is what happened. And that's why Gordon was having a real good game and having loads of chances. I mean, the surprise was when they took him off, because he was influencing the game up until they took him off. So I think Lampard might have overthought things there, because Richarlison going there, all he was looking to do is what he's doing the rest of the game, which is fall down, and he just couldn't really handle the intensity of the occasion.
He's a funny guy, Richarlison is. He falls down more times than anything. Every game. Oh man. In terms, I mean that's a big win, isn't it? Because obviously everyone made out to be this one to be a tougher game than the previous game against United. How much of a boost would that give them going into the run-in?
I'm not sure. I don't think it's giving them a boost. They're already on a high. They're already on a boost. So I don't know if it's just another game down, isn't it? It's just another game down. I think Man City's win is more of a boost for them because they've really closed the gap on the goal difference, which was starting to look really big. So I think for Man City, it's more of a boost than it is.
What did you make of? I mean, Jesus getting 4 goals. Contract running out all of a sudden.
I don't think his contract. I think he's got a full year left.
Year left.
But obviously, he's not looking to renew his contract at the moment. I don't think there's issues around the renegotiation at the moment, and he's interested. But I just as are you ever going to see, an easier 4 goals than that? I mean, the 3 goal. I mean, the last goal was a good finish, but they're all practically open goals. Two of them are open goals in the 6-yard box. The first 2. The fourth is a good footwork, good touch finish, quick feet, but still it's kind of an open chance.
But this is what City's been crying out. City's been needing, isn't it? Someone just in there for those tappings. So,
well, yeah, they needed to play Watford, didn't it? So, and the thing is, Watford had a really good chance at 0-0, at 1-0. They had really good chances. Someone trying to explain to me what Rohan Dennis was doing. You're clean.
Man Dennis. I don't know why you keep calling it Rohan Dennis.
I don't know why.
Everybody.
You know what? You know what the worst thing is? Rohan Dennis is a blooming cyclist. He's a cyclist. I'm talking about the wrong sport here. Yeah.
So Rohan, how did you miss?
I got the second name right. That's something. So yeah, I mean, I don't understand how. I don't know what he's doing. He's going backwards. He wasn't even going closer to the goal.
I mean, I just think he's lacking confidence.
I think he just choked. Like, are you gonna see a striker look at the keeper for as long as that and forget? You got 3 defenders chasing back at you. Pick your spot, take a shot.
It's that no confidence, hasn't scored in a while. I think that's what it is.
Yeah,
not trying to defend Rohan Dennis here, but I'm just saying.
Honestly, he ain't got the Brazilian genes of Guimarães. That's what's the problem.
Ooh, what a finish by Guimarães, wasn't it? Oh,
yeah.
Touch, boom, set him down. Oh, don't forget Joe Linton as well.
His first goal was really good. Both finishes to do quite good, but first one was excellent.
Yeah.
So,
sorry. Yeah. In terms of because we were talking about relegation and Everton. I mean, they've gone into what 18th now, bottom 3. Burnley are 2 points ahead of them, and won 7 points out of the last 9. So I mean, how much of a difference does Sean Dice leaving and this new caretaker manager had an impact?
Yeah, I mean, looking at what's come out, it seems like there was a lot of politics going on in the background with Daesh. And yeah, so whenever you have politics and, a power struggle going on, like's being reported by, really strong sources at the club, then it's definitely the right decision, because at the end of the day, you need everyone pulling in the same direction. You can't have politics. You're trying to survive the Premiership. And like I said, for their performances this season, it was justified. And if you believe you're still got enough time to get out, then it's justified. But if you're already resigned to, like we said in the last one, resigned to game, then I would question the decision. But we said at the time, I think it was a smart move getting Ben Mee and the reserve, like bringing in someone new wasn't the right thing, because their performances haven't been terrible. It's just they're lacking the intensity and an edge and a mentality, and clearly a lot of that was because Sean Dyche, was playing too many politics with power issues and who's calling the shots at the club, and you can just tell even from his post match. It's like he was going through the motions.
Do you think sometimes that's what happens because he's been at the club for so long, and he thinks he's been so instrumental. He has been instrumental to them, that he feels that he should have a more higher say than what he had, and that was.
Well, I don't think it's to do with he's been there for so long. I think it's to do with obviously he's not since the new owners come in and the new direction and they got director, he's not the be all and end all. He don't have the control and power that he wants, and then they're getting rid of a lot of the restructuring the club behind the scenes, a lot of old staff, they're moving on. But who cares? At the end of the day, the result speaks for itself. 7 points out of 9. And they play much better football.
Yeah.
They're playing football on the ground, progressive football. They suddenly look like the old Burnley that are solid defensively. So, what more can you ask for? Clearly, Dyche wasn't getting the best out of them, because how can the reserve manager just step in and get 7 points out of 9?
Yeah.
He's not changed the system.
They got Watford next, whilst Everton got Chelsea.
Yeah, you know what? That's the thing that I can almost guarantee is somehow Burnley won't win against Watford, because the one game you're going to expect them to win, because you think of momentum.
Yeah.
And again, it's going to come down to mentality, isn't it? A lot of teams, they can't handle the pressure of having a target on their back. Now the target's on them. Let's see how they handle it.
Do you think Everton's going to go down?
Something just tells me they're going to stay up. I don't know why. Something tells me that, but in a way, I like Everton as a club. They're a traditional club. The fans are amazing, but I just don't like the way the media are always putting the blame on Moshiri. I just think the problems at that club are with Ken Wright and the way he runs it. Anyone who really looks into the problems of Everton will realize that. But it's again cheap punditry and bias where they're just blaming the guy who's planning the money, because ultimately he's a foreigner.
Yeah.
He's an easy target. But maybe he's made the decision on the managers, but none of them are bad managers.
We got Ancelotti in. We got Rafa Benitez in. Come on.
Their proven record. If you look at that before that, Marco Silva was really highly rated, especially with working.
Ronald Koeman.
Ronald Koeman was doing excellent with
Southampton.
And also if you look at his record with Netherlands after that, he got the Barcelona job, off the back of his work. So the problem isn't Moshiri because he's planning the money and supporting those managers, number one. Number two, he's picking top caliber managers. The problem is, why isn't the board that are there day in, day out, which is Will Ken Wright's board, and the staff that are there, which are all, long-time Evertonian people that's been, all the staff been in 10, 15 years, why aren't they respecting their owner and their boss effectively in the decisions he makes? Why should you undermine the decisions he makes just because you don't have the final say? and that's what it comes down to. You know, everyone knows that. Anyone who you know, reads reports on insiders, what they're talking about happened. That's how Everton is run. You know, if that board don't have all the say, they undermine the person Moshiri thinks. So what are they doing? You got effectively, he's got a bunch of board of directors who are always undermining and working against him.
Yeah.
Just because they're not having the say who they wanted. Well, now they got their way with Lampard. You know, they're in the bottom. They're in the bottom three.
Yeah, but at least it makes it interesting at the bottom, because obviously at one stage it just looked like it's going to be them three that's going down in terms of Norwich, Watford, Burnley. But at least now
something just tells me Everton will get out. They got, when you look at their squad and their team, they got too much quality there. A couple of weeks ago, I think on Sky Sports, and I tell you what, soon as Liverpool started winning, he's just become a terrible pundit.
Yeah, I don't like Souness anymore. I agree.
I used to really like him. He used to say things how it was. He was honest. He was and since Liverpool have started winning, since they won the league, I don't know what's happened to him. Everything that comes out of his mouth is just biased BS.
Pro Liverpool, basically.
But he's just talking rubbish all the time now. So yeah, when he goes, oh, they're in the league because their squad ain't good enough. That's just ridiculous. When you look at their squad, they got a really good squad. Yeah, part of their problem is they've had injury to big players, and there's a lack of leadership.
The main players, yeah.
And they got a lack of leadership. But you know, are you gonna now tell me, because when you look at the form, and on the form table, United will be like the second worst team in the league in recently. Are you gonna tell me just based on that United don't have a good squad? It's not. It's, you know, so league position. It's not always about the quality of your squad. Sometimes it's the club doesn't have harmony, and yeah, you can blame manager to an extent because you know Benitez confronted the issues rather than trying to keep harmony. But now you got a manager who's singing the praises of the chairman and everything, and you know, and then still struggling. So there comes a point where you have to look beyond Moshiri. It's you know, other people at the club that have been there for, you know, 20 odd years.
You can't keep blaming him. I mean, he is giving everything. So I mean,
but I don't understand how you can blame someone who's not there. He's never there. He's not there. He's financially supporting you. He's keeping the structures that's always been there. So maybe the structure that's always been there is the problem. The culture is the problem.
Maybe. Fair so. I think we covered pretty much everyone, really. Let's talk about. Yes, thank you, Adil. For those of you watching, thank you for watching. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.